Welcome back to another small update video. As always, I'm using the Fractal theory, the tutorial video for that I will link at the end of the video. Okay, well, then let's jump into AMC. Before we start, little detail because of comments, yeah, because I get a lot of comments already, yeah, and that's really perfect, nice, thank you. Just one thing to these, if you just write your comment for to tell you tell me your mind or your opinion, that's absolutely okay. But if you're asking a question, there's one thing in YouTube. You should answer my pinned post or anything I wrote in the comments. Just answer these ones, because then I immediately get a notification that someone asked me something. If you only write it normally in the comments, it can happen it takes hours that I get a notification or not at all. Yeah. And I'm looking at the comments 3 times a day, the whole list through if I missed something, but I can't look at the whole thing every 10 minutes. So if you're really asking something, answer on the pin post or any comment I made. Just answer so I get the notification. YouTube, after so many years, they still have no real good comment section. Just saying. Okay, for AMC at all, if you want to know my price targets, my opinion about 1 part, 2 part squeeze, about the whole fractal, I will link the big update video again at the end. Today we only look at what we have done on Thursday and Friday. So let's zoom in. So before we start, I just want to say, on Thursday there was the big panic, yeah, because of this drop, yeah? And I already said, guys, as long as we're not breaking our levels, there is no reason for panic. There's also no reason for hope. Yeah. As long as we're not breaking levels, everything is fine. Yeah. Because of course, Friday came and we got a pretty good bounce and all the panic gone again. So why panic in the first place? So because I don't want to repeat everything, because then I don't have to do a video. I have a little, I wouldn't say new thing, but it's interesting. For explanation, both charts here, both of course AMC, both of course 1 hour chart. Left side is from March 2026 till today. Right side is January 5th to January 22nd. The interesting thing is, in 2021, we went from our all-time low to our A peak, did a 0.5 pullback, went up to our B peak, made a 0.5 pullback, and then we went up to to January 25th, and then we close. This year, for this main version I have, we made our all-time low, went up to A, made a 618 pullback. Then we went up to B, made a 618 pullback. So for this version, okay, maybe because we are bigger, because this is bigger than this and this is bigger than this, maybe this time around it's okay that we're doing bigger pullbacks, 618 pullbacks instead of 0.5 pullbacks. Could be. The only question is, what would happen next? And I already wrote in the comments to some people, you will hate me. I would imagine. Because, I mean, people who are already watching me longer, if you remember what we were tracking in May 2026, this one. What was the landmark I wanted back then? I wanted this, our higher low. And right now, I want my higher low. Yeah. If we micro track this here, just this B, yeah, then this was our C, our lower high, this big drop was our M, and this on Wednesday was our T. And on Friday, we went up, but we didn't broke T. So in my opinion, this peak on Friday could already be the peak of our higher low. So if tracking is perfect, we would now do our high low whole next week, maybe 2 weeks. How would that look like? Well, in that case, this would be what we done on Friday. Let's make this bigger. This on Friday here would be already lower high, midpoint, T, V. Yeah. Our target, however this looks like, it could also look like something like this here. Just saying, would be something under 182. Yeah. Till next Friday, maybe till the Friday after that. Or, and that's the other thing, yeah, because we didn't got a higher low here. I mean, this wasn't a higher low. Yeah, the higher low would have been this. This was just sideways shit, okay? So I learned this time. So in this version, I'm also okay with going sideways. Okay? Just the same landmark as this. Yeah. But we need something like this or something like this. To make that absolutely clear, I see for this version 0 chance to go on Monday. 0, sadly. Yeah. If we go, we talk about this in another thing, in the other version. But if we go, and especially if it breaks $3, that would be bearish for me. Yeah, I will come into that in a second. For this version, we're going sideways, or we're doing higher till next Friday, or the Friday after that, and then we go. For levels, as I said, we are not allowed to break 172 anymore. If we do a lower low right now, again, then you can have panic, in my opinion. This would be bad. I know in the last video, we had the thing that we are not allowed to break 150. But with this bounce right now, we are not allowed to break this low anymore. Yeah. The 150, in my opinion, I mean, you could say this is confirmation, okay? The $1.50, but breaking 172, the low from Thursday, would be already fucking bearish. So we are not allowed to do that. And of course, we are not allowed to break $3.04. We will come to that in a second. The thing is, if we squeeze on Monday, this Monday, and for squeeze, to make that absolutely clear what I mean with squeeze. For me, squeeze means we have to go over May 2024 peak, over $13. Then who cares? Yeah, I was wrong. Everyone is happy. We squeezing. Okay. With just going over or up, I mean something like this. 10%, 20%. That would be bearish for me. Yeah. Why? Just because of the 2025 landmark. This here, the right side, May 2025. When you look here, you had just a pullback, yeah, without a higher low, and you just went up without gaps. In that case, if we do that, well, then our ultimate bearish version would take place, and that would mean most likely we won't break our main trend line, this one here. So something around $7, $8, $9. We would reject here. This becomes T. Till end of the year, we're making a new all-time low. And well, the big price targets will die. We will go up here again, but I don't think we will get the big price targets again. Yeah, that's why I don't want to see that. Yeah, and to make that absolutely clear, if we on Monday, if we're getting 100, 200, 300, 400, 500% in pre-market, we go over May peak. Yeah, and just go, okay, fine, squeeze, perfect, absolutely okay. What I don't want to see is 10%, 20% pre-market and then rest of the week slowly grinding up. That would be shit. Yeah. But not seeing that yet. Yeah, just to say a break of this last peak right now wouldn't be that bullish. Just saying. Okay, so as a summary, so nobody is confused. In the best case, next week doing higher low or going sideways till Friday, and then we can track further. This version is still, and this bounce, very bullish. The other bullish version was this here, the slow one. What does it mean? That since that this whole thing here was just this thing here. Yeah? In that case, we would be way bigger, way slower. Yeah, because back then in 2021, this took us 8 days, and this took us right now 90, 80 days. Yeah, we would be way slow. The only thing which would make sense here, if you see that we did back then a 0.5 pullback for the A pullback, and right now, if this whole thing would be just A, it would be also a 0.5 pullback. In that case, I really have to say I expect a higher low, not just this sideways shit. If we're doing this, I really want to see a perfect higher low. Now for the question, okay, if we are so much slower, how long could this take? Well, the problem is if this was 8 days and this was 80 days, and this here was 9 days, well, if we're taking this 1-to-1, well, this could bring us into September. Let's look 1 second. 90 days from here is, yeah, September. Yeah. So it would be really slow. Yeah. Maybe we really just squeeze then in January. Yeah. But, yeah, and there's a really big but. Normally, for a squeeze, for a break, for a macro break, you're doing your A, you're doing your higher low, and then it decides, are you doing normal B or are you just breaking, macro break? So in that case, we could already macro break here, and we don't have to do these things. But at least if we're not doing that, and we're really doing this slow version, we know what the next steps are. And of course, for options holders, it's stupid. Yeah, I'm also half-half. Yeah, for shares, it doesn't matter because it's upside. The last thing, the only version which, in my opinion, was a good chance for next week, would have been if we would be in January 25th. That was this version here, where we would be right now here. Yeah. In my opinion, I already said that in the last video, I just want to repeat it. In my opinion, this is 100, okay, you shouldn't say 100%, but 99% off the table. Why? In that case, this was our B, this was our B. And this pullback we did on Thursday was too low. Yeah. You see how low this came? This came under the low of the B pullback. In that way, yeah, that would have meant that in 2021 we would have done this. It doesn't matter if you say it isn't 1-to-1. This is not 1-to-1. This is just wrong. We can't be in this candle. In my opinion, it is just impossible. It is impossible. We went too low. If we would have bounced here, there was a tiny, tiny chance that we would have been here. With this pullback here, no chance. And that's why it would be also bearish for me if we break this, because we wouldn't be here. This would be something different, and I wouldn't like it. But January 25th, for me, there's near zero chance that we are in January 5th. And because we are not in January 5th, in my opinion, there's zero chance for a squeeze next week. Yeah, if we're not just squeezing. Yeah, but for normal tracking, I don't see a chance. Good, but it looks good. Conclusion, AMC looks fucking fire. Okay, next one, GME. So for GME, first, forget that here. That is for the zoomed in version. Just for if you want to see my price target, how the next squeeze should look like, and the whole fractal, I again will link the big update video at the end of the video. Today we just look especially what we have done in Friday after hours. So let's zoom in. So 2 versions, I already posted them on the homepage. We only talk about these 2 versions today. We don't talk about the bearish version today because we already did that so many times. And if you're interested in this, which you should, watch after this the big roadmap video. For these 2 versions, both are bullish versions in between. The right one just takes longer. Both charts are from today, or not from today, but from eBay news from May 2026 till last Friday, both on the 1 hour chart. Because of this candle in after hours on Friday, we start with the bullish version, with the absolutely bullish version. With the absolutely bullish version, this thing here, I'm talking about this thing here, is finished. The V would have been June 22nd. Then we did a higher low into June 25th. And then we already see the breakout in this case. Let's see something like this. Yeah, we already see the breakout. Yeah, which would mean what comes next? Next would mean we finally doing the A landmark for GME. That means everything under 36 and anything over 28. Going up, a little pullback, squeeze. This is what this means. If we need to do the pullback or not, we will have to see. But in the next 1 or 2 weeks, in the best case already next week, we should be up here. Pretty easy. To make that but absolutely clear, for this version, there is no pullback here. I mean, that's already much. But in that case, we have to start going on Monday. Not something like this. No, going up on Monday. Yeah? Confirmation levels, anything over 24. Anything over 26, and we're not even talking about the absolute bearish old shit ever again. But we have to start going on Monday. No excuse to wait the whole week. No excuse to go sideways. Up. Good. The alternative is this one here. And also has, sadly, a reason. In that case, this candle was just T. And the main problem, which I really hate, is why didn't we just went over 24? Why did we stop here? Yeah, that's my main reason for this version. Because if we just went up in after hours, let's say, okay, just stop at 24.40. I wouldn't even talk about this version because this version would be gone. End of story. Main problem here is that we stopped under M. So there is a possibility, and not a small one, where this was just here and you will knife from here. What I mean with knife, same as this M on June 3rd, same as the L on May 11, the kitty tweet, same as the eBay news on May 1st. You will knife. This will not be a slow downtrend. You will knife. To what? Well, the old version. 2040-ish. Yeah, 2040-ish, something, yeah, something under January 2020 at 22nd, so yeah. And then you can start again. Yeah, but also this will take time again. Yeah, and it would be bullshit. Yeah, and again, it would be just some filing and some bullshit in after hours, running in after hours to a peak, and already rejecting in after hours. I hope I'm wrong on this shit because I can't see that anymore. It's just taking so much bullshit time. Yeah, especially GME, should fucking decide what it wants to do. Can it please fucking go up? Or at least finish this V? Yeah. And of course, don't break 1961. If we touch or break 1961, it will be $13 till November. I have no clue what this means for AMC, because for AMC this looks fucking cool. Yeah. So let's just hope this was just a bad dream, and we get this. Yeah. And if we get the right side, let's just hope we finish this till Friday. Okay. Yeah. I really can't see GME anymore. Yeah. Fucking do something, please. Good. Next one, BYND. Also here for the big update, what the price targets are, how the whole fractal looks like. I will link the big roadmap video at the end. Today we also only look what we have done on Friday. So let's zoom in. And you know, as I said, BYND is always moving Friday, Mondays with its big moves. And okay, yeah. 10 minutes, half an hour before market close, we got the big candle. But again, we didn't broke levels yet. Again, there is no big reason to be bearish. Yeah, I mean, I'm bearish on BYND still, as long as we're not going over 84. But it's not that yet. For the tracking, we were wondering, why do we do so many higher lows all after another? Well, since Friday we got the answer. We didn't do any higher lows. This was just small t from bigger T. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the last drop to a V, it's the same like here, same like here, same like here, especially same like here. And the biggest one is here, same as here. The last drops from the T to the V are the most brutal ones, normally, in the best case. And then you get your V. Yeah, and the V is not just sounding like a V or means victory or whatever. No, it's because of V. That's why it's V. And I mean, does this look like a V? It could. Knife down, one candle button, bounce. It looks okay. Yeah. Let's see what we get on Monday. Yeah. I mean, okay, I know you won't. You will kill me for the sentence sometimes, but we could now do a higher low. Sorry, but if this is really the bottom and the V, we could do a higher low. I know, I hate it too. Yeah. Or we just go, okay? Monday is the next chance. For the question, can we go lower? Maybe. Sadly. Yeah. Sadly, we could go lower. Also, if we do this wouldn't break something yet. Yeah. Our main line is 57 cents. If we touch or break 57 cents, it's over. End of story. Yeah. The reverse split is already voted for. They could do Monday reverse split 1 to 1000. No. 1 to 35, I think, is the maximum. Yeah, what they already approved. So they can do that anytime. I think they won't if they're not, if they don't have to, because the supermarket guy, or however they call it, he bought into BYND. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to do now a reverse split. But if they have to, and if we break 57 cents, you will make new all-time highs, then lows, then they have to. Yeah, but as long as we're not under this, okay. Yeah, as I said, I'm still bearish on BYND, just because this was our previous A, and we shouldn't have broken the 786. So this can't be A anymore. So we're tracking this as high or low. Last chance. A higher low is a higher low. That means this here has to be higher than this. It's possible. Only answer is we have to wait for price action. Yeah. And conclusion is I'm still bearish. I'm saying that in every video. As long as we're not seeing a trend change, and I want to see a trend change for beyond, and I still have my position, just to make that clear. But as long as we're not over 84 cents, I'm still bearish. I want to see a trend change. Yeah. But let's see. Hopefully this was the last drop on Friday, and then we hopefully can start tracking bullish again. Okay, next one, MSTR. Okay, MSTR. Just because I think the last update I made on this was months ago. Yeah, it was very, very early. I think the first update I made was October 2025, something like that. And I didn't have to change my tracking since then because it's perfect. And it could be, no financial advice, a good short play if you're not a Bitcoin or MSTR fan, just to say that. Because what I mean with this, I'm tracking MSTR like this is this. This here in between is just noise. Yeah? And in that case, you would be right now two places. You could be here or you could be somewhere in here. Yeah. But the general direction is downside. Yeah. You made your peak, in my opinion. I don't have a bullish alternative for this, really sorry. This was your lower, the peak was November 2024. The lower high was July 2025. And this last peak on May 2026 was just our M. And to make that absolutely clear, what tracking I have for this, the bottom target is $3. This is a C, V under A. Yeah, $3. The same like 2000. I mean, just to say this, it's the same boss, same CEO. It was a different company back then, because back then it was a software company. But even back then, the CEO, with over-leveraged and delusion and so on, nearly went with his company bankrupt. This time around, he has a new business model, and the new business model is just buying Bitcoin. And he has really a hand for it to buy Bitcoin on the tops. Every time. He bought Bitcoin here, 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 and here. I don't know if he's doing that on purpose, but he has a hand for that. Every time when he buys Bitcoin, you can start shorting Bitcoin. Yeah. And it's also a perfect head and shoulders to say that. It's a perfect head and shoulders. Normally, I give a fuck about these patterns, but it's a perfect head and shoulders. And the thing is, he is not even buying Bitcoin at the wrong times, in my opinion. He is also over leveraging. He is diluting and buying with this money new Bitcoin, and he is putting the shares of his company as security for his loans. Big if, yeah. But if Bitcoin is doing the absolute normal common opinion about Bitcoin right now, if Bitcoin is doing this drop till October to $34, I think that will be the reason that MSTR will get liquidated. Yeah, absolutely liquidated and destroyed. And again, this company, in my opinion, will go near the point of bankruptcy again. But I think it won't die. Yeah. After we get that, we will get this again. And in several decades of years, this guy or a new guy will find a new business model and will do the same shit again. But this right now looks terrible bearish. Yeah. One thing, only because MSTR has bearish tracking doesn't mean 100% that Bitcoin has to die. Yeah. whatever happens, maybe he is already getting liquidated. Could be, yeah, because I think he is already red since here, something like here. The position is already red. Yeah, so maybe this is just already a death spiral. Doesn't mean something for Bitcoin. Yeah, but this looks fine. And also one thing, this downtrend here took more than 2 years. Yeah, if you look from the peak to the low, 854 days. Yeah, I'm not saying we're getting $3 this year. Yeah, I could see we fulfilling the head and shoulders, so $25 the end of this year, but this can take till end of next year. But just look, you have your bounces, but it's downside. It's really downside. Yeah, so no financial advice, in my opinion, could be a no-brainer. Yeah, maybe waiting for the next bounce. Yeah, I have no position yet. Stupidly, yeah, I have perfect tracking for it, but I didn't play it. But maybe I wait for the next bounce, and with next bounce, make it absolutely clear, I would say the next bounce to this trend line here. So if we bounce here around 100, 140, then I will maybe look into put leaps. Yeah, because I really think this thing will go down. It looks terrible. Okay, last thing for the day, VIX. Just because we got a pretty weird week last week. I mean, it was pretty red, then pretty green, pretty red. The thing is, I mean, normally, I already said in the last videos, if you're breaking levels, which we clearly did, you can buy puts every day. And I did. But the problem right now is, for me, VIX. It still isn't looking bullish. And you know, bullish VIX means red market. Bearish VIX means green market. And if you just look at this right now, then this peak from Friday was just the small m from the middle m from the big M. And this big M started here at $13. So we still have to come down here. It makes for me no sense right now to get a knife in the market. I just don't see it. Yeah, because if we're getting now a knife in the market, what would that mean? VIX would go up, and everything over 25, and VIX will really go up. And just look what happened on April 4th, 2025, what happened on August 5th, 2024. This would be the comparable landmarks here. It wouldn't make sense for me, but if we go up here, oh my god. Maybe even 690 on SPY wouldn't hold if we do that. But right now, even on Friday, look at this. I would still expect that this thing now, going down here, get a little pump, go down here, but $12, $13-ish for VIX. And I mean, I know Trump is bombing Iran again, but this isn't looking bullish for VIX, which means market should go up. And yeah. And okay, so the real tracking is now really over. But for this story, first of all, okay, Trump is bombing Iran again. But on the same time, Israel and Lebanon already made a ceasefire peace deal-ish, and Lebanon agreed to throw the Hezbollah out of the country and take their weapons away. I mean, I don't think they will do that on their own. Israel will help. But this is not, and Iran doesn't like that, of course, because they would lose again one of their proxies, because they already lost Hamas. Yeah, now they will lose Hezbollah too. Yeah. Russia is also losing, so not very long, and Iran will stand on its own. That's why I think they on purpose are bombing the peace deal. But I mean, we are talking about Trump here. His patience is already very small. Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to angry Trump, really, because if his patience is gone, and I think it already is. I mean, Iran was impressive, holding against America for several weeks, months against America is impressive. Just shows that the wars today are way more difficult with drones, rockets, and so on. But even with all this shit, an angry Trump, you are just deleted from Earth. Still, you're fighting against the US military. And who thinks that the Democrats will stop Trump? Even if they want to. They're already so weak like the left ones in Europe. No chance that they will stop him. This man, you can think about Trump whatever you want. When he says something, he means it. He means it. Doesn't mean if he's saying he will do this and this, that he's able to do it. But when he says, stop it, or I will delete you from Earth, he will at least try it. He means what he's saying. He's not like any other politicians. He is just really saying what he thinks. Yeah, you can like that or hate that. But still, I mean, at the beginning of the war, the stock market, at every single notification, peace deal, war again, yeah. Nowadays, I think the stock market just isn't caring anymore. Really, you get news, well, okay. War, okay. Peace, okay. Even oil, war, okay. The stock market isn't, I mean, I think it doesn't mean anything because it's just news, but especially I think the Iran news. Even it could be, yeah, it could be that's maybe because I get news from Europe, but I just see nothing of this right now. I don't know if you see the news in America with all Iran bombing, but in Europe, nobody cares about the Iran deal anymore. Just okay. But yeah, VIX still looks bearish. Let's see if I'm wrong. Good. Was a shorter video today. As always, playlist here. No, tutorial video playlist up there. If you want to see the big roadmap update video with all things, back here. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to see more, leave an abo. And well, let's see what we get on Monday. Will be interesting. Yeah.